things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them and their mentor.
New video from his July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling
I'ma kick you in your Berthian and I'ma go to work North Philly style binge.
Had a conversation. He gave me his blessing. And I totally gave myself to that relationship for you.
It appears that Bryshere Gay and August Alsina were just exposed, not by some random blog, but by a woman named Allie Carter, who says she has the tea that no one was allowed to drink. She now claims that Will and Jada were out here purportedly tutoring these young males. You all understand what I mean by that. Behind the scenes, Bryshere and August allegedly began their own covert romance. And baby, according to Allie, it was at this point that August discovered he might genuinely like men. That's crazy enough, but it seems that Bryshere was already experimenting following his purported interactions with Will. He's currently on OV, yes, just admirers, filming just with males. Yes, this story is everywhere. People are chatting and the streets are noisy. So let's dissect it one by one. Let's go back in time first. Yaz the Greatest, also known as Bryshere Gay, was a fierce competitor. When he got his breakthrough role on Empire, he was only 17 years old. He was regarded by all as the next major black star. Adorable, gifted, and captivating, he was adored by Hollywood. However, the narrative takes a different turn at that point, because following his success, Bryshere was introduced to several prominent figures, including Diddy, Will Smith, and Charlie Mack, through a mentorship program. You already know what people like Jaguar Wright have been saying about those so-called mentorships, if you've been around long enough. To put it mildly, they're said to entail much more than just acting classes.
Things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them and their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house again screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Following that, Bryshere's life simply began to spiral out of control. The child switched between mug pictures and TV displays. He was reportedly heavily involved in drugs, frequently arrested, and obviously struggling with an internal issue. Things became really gloomy in 2020. Claiming that he had abused her, his wife fled to a gas station pleading for assistance. He had to be talked down by an entire SWAT unit.
New video from his July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling them the actor had harassed her for hours inside their Goodyear home. The bizarre jailhouse interview lasting for 2 hours as they try to piece together a chaotic.
He was incarcerated once more by 2022, this time for serious assault. People began to wonder what had actually happened to that intelligent young child who had everything going for him. At that point, Jaguar Wright offered her perspective. She claims that Bryshere's mother, Andrea Maybury, approved that mentorship while being fully aware of Charlie Mack's intended recipient.
I'ma kick you in your Berthian and I'ma go to work North Philly style binge. Who'll I kill? And Charlie? You happy now? He's a gay porn star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell? I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. You dog and CI talk.
Andrea later regretted it and even sought her assistance, according to Jaguar. However, it was already too late. According to Jaguar, she instructed Andrea to stop talking to Charlie Mack to keep her kids safe, but Andrea failed to comply. Jaguar claims that this gave Will and Diddy ample opportunity to continue playing tricks on Bryshere until he experienced a complete mental and emotional collapse.
Told her to get the floor away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. Because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is, she wasn't nothing but a drug dealer's whore. That's all she ever was. She went from being the dealer to drug dealer, and then she would snitch on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with it and Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy. And I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gay. Put it in. Man, you ain't Charlie, man. They're trying to slut him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists. Okay. I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids. That would just be in bad taste. Baby oil on babies.
You can't say that the flavor camp was sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. You just come on. Come
It's
on.
starting to sound that way, ain't it?
No.
All
Yeah,
that
that-
talent, all that talent, and they can, and she let Charlie tune that boy up on cloak, knowing that he was bipolar and had ADHD. What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a prostitute so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a Philly whore. Whore. You're a big old and they're making your son out to be, that's for sure. Because he didn't have no choice. You was down by all. I'm sorry. The Bryshere conversation for me is not easy. Because I came to Belial and I asked Belial to help me save the kids, and all he was worried about was his fucking book. Nobody care about these kids. Don't nobody care about these kids.
And considering how Bryshere's life transpired after that, it's difficult not to question whether Jaguar has been telling the truth all along. In the meantime, things were as chaotic in the Smith home since Jada became literally entwined with August Alsina there. Do you recall that bombshell? In 2020, August revealed to the world that he was in love with Jada and that Will had permitted him. He claimed that it emotionally altered him, exhausted him, and caused him to have many self-doubts. This is when things start to get interesting. It seems that August was inspired, to be honest, by Bryshere. So were these two already close, or was there more going on behind the scenes? Well,
Had a conversation. He gave me his blessing. And I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life. Being intertwined in that way, walking away from it, butchered me. Like I'm shaking right now because it almost killed me. Not almost, it did. It pushed me into being another person.
Jada initially attempted to downplay it, but she eventually brought herself to the red table and acknowledged it. As if it were a little issue, she referred to it as an entanglement. However, we could all see how uneasy Will appeared when seated across from her. Jada claimed that she was going through it on an emotional level in an effort to feel better. The internet was like, girl, what? To feel wonderful, you put your entire marriage in danger? Even so, she took care to inform everyone.
Considered private.
You just feel like it ain't really
Nobody's business, but
But now Black Twitter has claimed it as their business.
when I were going through a very difficult time,
Yeah,
and we decided.
I was done with you.
Yeah, you kicked me to
I
the
was
curb.
done with you.
We,
Marriages have that though. Marriages have that.
yeah, we broke up.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship.
I didn't get permission from Will. I permitted myself. People became aware of this family's very different level of transparency at that point. And just when we thought everything was over, this comes.
I could give permission in that particular circumstances myself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But what August was probably trying to communicate, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission because we were separated amicably.
Yeah.
And I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a.
Allie Carter has a new bombshell. Bryshere and August allegedly had a covert connection, according to Sis, like a real relationship, not friends, not bros. And she claims that because their circumstances were related, Bryshere really advised August to tell the truth. Although Allie didn't go into detail about how she knew all of this, the receipts she alluded to quickly caused many to make connections online. To be honest, the timeline seems odd. There is simply too much overlap between the Smith family turmoil, August's awakening, and Bryshere's collapse. Fans are now beginning to see a pattern. August announces that he is seeing a man. Bryshere on OnlyFans with transgender women and men. You guessed it. Will and Jada were connected to both of them. Nobody is claiming that someone turned them out, but others are questioning the timing, since it seems strange that these two young guys experienced similar awakenings after spending time with the same influential couple. Even if you don't believe every detail, the pattern is too strong to ignore. The internet is divided, baby. It is sad how parents in Hollywood exploit young men for fame, some people say. Accountability is being demanded by others. Will, Diddy, and even Bryshere's mother should all be sued. Then some claim that perhaps they simply developed and found themselves organically. Others, however, are certain that this wasn't natural. This was the pinnacle of industry grooming. All of this is ultimately just conjecture. However, it also serves as a warning that a great deal of suffering lurks behind the red carpet's celebrity and wealth. The same names, networks, and shattered lives are recurring themes in these tales. I want to hear from you now. Do you think there was an actual relationship between August and Bryshere? Do you believe Will was involved in their changes? Or is this just another instance of the internet going too far? Please share your opinions below. Remember that I will be releasing another messy video that delves even deeper into this tale.